Yeah, like I said, I mean, it's happening nationwide. Students are getting their visas and passports revoked. We got our sister station down in Portland, KPTV Fox. Yep, down there. So Portland students are getting their visas revoked. Here we go.
We're learning that 2 international students and 1 recent graduate at Portland State University are at risk of deportation after their visas were revoked. This comes at the same time as a judge's ruling on a high-profile case of a graduate at Columbia University regarding immigration. Today, a Louisiana judge ruled that Mahmoud Khalil can be deported due to a violation of immigration law or a lack of legal immigration status. Khalil led pro-Palestinian protests at Columbia last year, and the White House accuses him of supporting Hamas. Secretary of State Marco Rubio said that Khalil's protest could compromise U.S. foreign policy interests, but Khalil's lawyer said that Rubio's claims are baseless and the action is unconstitutional.
If you come to this country as a student, we expect you to go to class and study and get a degree. If you come here to vandalize a library, take over a campus and do all kinds of crazy things, we're going to get rid of these people and we're going to continue to do it.
The Secretary of State says without analysis or evidence that he deems Mahmoud a threat to national security. This is a sort of a tacky Soviet-style diktat that's like equal parts empty and chilling.
Well, Khalil's case stems from student protests. We do know that hundreds of student visas across the country have been revoked for unknown reasons, including here in Oregon at U of O, USO, and now PSU. Earlier today, PSU's president sent out an email to say that 3 international students had their visas terminated. Fox 12's Dylan Scott joins us live in the studio tonight with the latest.
Riel, good evening. With 2 current and now 1 former PSU student having their visas revoked, it has certainly caused some anxiety, as you can expect, on campus. The fact is, in cases like this, the State Department hasn't shared many details as to their reasoning, and that to many is concerning on several levels.
It just makes me feel really uneasy, and I just know a lot of students that are on visas, and I don't know what I would do in their position.
With news from Portland State President Ann Cudd that 3 PSU students are now among hundreds nationally to have their student visas terminated, Betsy says she worries about the long-term future of those on this campus and the thousands of others across the country.
With everything happening, I feel like campus is the place where you should feel safe and at home.
While immigration enforcement and national security have been key priorities for this Trump administration, Eric Widman, founder and counsel for Passage Immigration Law in Northwest Portland, says the true concern is transparency in those actions, or the lack of it in many of these cases.
The level of fear amongst clients and potential clients is off the charts,
leading many here on student visas to wonder how the First Amendment applies to them, and if they could face deportation for exercising their right to protest, just like Columbia University student Mahmoud Khalil, who a judge ruled Friday can be deported for his role in pro-Palestinian demonstrations.
If we say international students are held to a different standard, that you can come over here and study, but you can't share your opinion freely, that sounds unconstitutional, un-American, and it's whatever side of the political spectrum you're speaking out about, we should be protecting people's rights to say what they want to say.
Widman adds that part of the problem is how fast these agencies are moving, providing little to no time for due process in what in many circumstances could be life-altering federal decisions.
We've dramatically changed the enforcement of the rules, and I think that's what has caught a lot of people off guard.
In a statement, Cudd reaffirmed that since 2016, PSU has served as a sanctuary campus and doesn't enforce immigration law, adding this visa situation is not unique, but deeply troubling, and that international students deserve the same protections as a vital part of this student body. However, in the meantime, those here from overseas are being told to know their options.
Should also, on a practical level, carry identification with them. They should have their passport. They should be notifying friends and family of their whereabouts and their plans, and have a backup plan in case they are arrested, which is sad to say.
I do know that the people that are affected, they're facing fear. I know it's affecting their academics and how they just don't want to be on campus sometimes, or they just fear of being on campus in case a situation like this does happen.
Now we reached out to the State Department for clarification as to what caused the 3 PSU students to have their visas revoked. We will let you know when we receive a response. In studio, Dylan Scott.